Alright,
If you put
guys.
him in a situation where
Good
the
morning.
fake news is just
I'm back at you with some more City Skylines
he
2
knows
streaming.
they're fighting back, like giving that some energy.
Sorry about last night. We were going to stream Magic the Gathering with the brothers, but
he's going to fight back.
well, we had people that didn't want that.
Behind the scenes.
I'll just say that. So we couldn't.
Weren't doing what
but I'm here right now with City Skylines 2, so let's have some fun with the Economy 2.0 patch. So far, it is maybe a bit too challenging, but we'll see. I gotta find a way to mitigate the trash problem.
I wanted to just
because it's just way too expensive. Now maybe I should do some specialized
scare them, make them, whatever it takes. Just needs to get done. And I've never seen anybody who was better changing his presentation for the city. There's no time when he invited a world leader to cameras are going, and then he went off on the world leader. Never, because that wouldn't be smart. There's not one situation which anybody has heard of that would suggest he would just go crazy. But you know who might believe he would? Somebody who believed he staged it might believe he would do something. Didn't. Somebody who believes that he tried to strangle the driver of his own car on January 2nd. I think he might be unstable. But that didn't actually happen. According to the driver. So you could go right down the line. Did he stand in front of the public and say that the Nazis were fine people? No, that was
see what that does.
The Democrats believe. So just hold this in your mind, how funny this is. The entire Democrat debate strategy, EI staff, is that he's got to treat Trump. All of their propaganda were true, but it's not. It's just the best trap in the world. All Trump has to do is just show up and be true. He doesn't even have to adjust because there was never any truth to claims that he's crazy and chaotic and can't control the situation. There's no evidence. 70. So I think this is the funniest thing ever, that they fell for their own hoaxes. And falling for their own hoaxes allowed them to come up with a strategy that can't possibly work. But the odds of that working would require him to turn into a different person than before it happened. Since when has Trump ever turned into a different person? Never. He's always Trump. One thing you can be sure of. That's hilarious. Anyway, their new ad looks like a high school project. And I said that, it's obviously a massive incompetence problem in the Democrats. And it's somewhat obvious that DEI is the problem. But would you say that's a fair statement? I'll give you some detail. But you'd agree with that the Biden campaign is being destroyed by the very thing they tell us is good for the country. 40. Clearly his campaign, DEI, is the David Axelrods and the people who know what the fuck they're doing are doing for us now. Sorry, old white guy. Got a young black guy who's really fun. So, am I saying something bad about black people? No, absolutely not. Wouldn't do that. There's nothing in this. Because here's the test. If DEI was only about promoting redheads, like as white redhead, if DEI were only about making sure you had good representation of redheads, it would destroy the system because not enough redhead. But everybody would need one, because if they couldn't prove they didn't have a redhead, then they'd have to answer to their parents. Buses have narrative. Democrats. But the Democrats say you have to do this red herring stuff. We're not going to accept it that there weren't enough. You're going to have to hire redheads that job. So if you can replace the people in the story with redheads, such as sending too many redheads across the border, criminal backgrounds, then you know it wasn't racist. Let's call it the redhead test. Redhead test is if you jump the black people in the story, or the LGBTQ, or the women in the story, and it's in the story, whoever is your diversity target. If you switch them out, is it with a redhead? Does it look exactly what DI would look exactly the same? It's a supply and demand problem on top of human motivation to not be fired. So you're going to hire the redhead, no matter what their qualifications are. You're going to put them in charge of the engine development. You're fucking Boeing airplane, and it's going to fall out of the sky. By the way, I don't choosing them. There's no indication that there's any DEI problem. There is an indication that if they continue pursuing DEI, which they say they are, it's guaranteed to them. Guaranteed. The only thing we don't know if any of that's happening. Guaranteed, because the system is designed.
Those of you who are curious, I'm listening to Scott Adams in the background.
All right, let's do a little survey of what the Biden campaign is telling you and important to the election. Got the Fine People hoax, the drinking bleach, the suckers and liars hoax, the January 6th insurrection hoax. You've got 2 impeachment show trials. You got the immigration bill hoax. You know, the one where they say, only Trump had not killed our immigration bill, we'd have a closed border. No, that's just a talking point. Kill it. You end his executive order. Trump didn't need that law to close the border again. You don't need it either. There's the inflation is down, but jobs are better under Biden, but not really. It's because of the pandemic, like normal year. There's the Biden is, he might look a little unsteady in public, but in closed doors he's a genius, which is fucking stupid. And you're just insulting my intelligence to imagine that he's all okay behind closed doors. That's not happening. He's saying things that are ridiculous, like Trump is going to put your democracy at risk. He's been lawfare to try to keep him off the ballot, try to keep him in jail, and may not have. They say that he thinks he wants to be dictator for a day, which is just pretending they don't understand of it. They say he's the chaos candidate, although there's no evidence whatsoever or anything. They say he might fire Rachel Maddow and put her in a camp, which is fucking retarded. They think that white supremacists forming a RV up in the hills, but nobody can find one. They think the military have a little problem, but they couldn't find anything there. They say no one is above the law while they're lawfaring the fucking people's off. They say Ukraine is about protecting the democracy from Putin, which is a transparent lie. You know, the Hunter's laptop is not exactly real, you fucking assholes. We know that the things are files. And we know that they weaponized. So what do Biden's lawfare dogs tell us today? Tell us that if you don't agree with accepting the election before you see the results, you don't agree in advance.
All right, I'm going to restart the stream because it's a really bad bit rate.
Even if the outcome was Biden got 99% of the votes, even in that condition, Democrats are telling you blaming would be inappropriate. I don't know how obvious the rigging of the election. Now, I don't know if the election was rigged. I don't have any. I'm just telling you, sure, what's like it? And then a reasonable person can say, well, a lot of non-standard things happening here, or at least laptop that. Certainly, Zuckerberg.
Wow.
Certainly some sketchiness, mail-in ballots. Certainly the not checking signatures.
Signal is horrible today.
But the law dogs
I guess I'm just going to have to wait for it to get better.
You should go to jail. Be paraphrased. You should be punished in some. Believe that an obviously rigged election, obviously rigged. You say that aloud. This is your free speech. You're trying to make sure that free speech is not even tempted. Don't even try your free speech. Because if you say it obviously looks rigged, doesn't matter if it does obviously. What's important is you said it. And so apparently the lawyers against Trump are using the fact that they once said he wouldn't accept the results automatically as evidence that he insurrection if he was the same, saying that you won't automatically accept an election knowing what it was like. It's the same as saying you planned an insurrection. Oh, you fucking idiots!
There's no demand for jobs.
Watch this debate to get more lawfare.
30% unemployment.
Watch more, get more lawfare singers against. Because we live in a fair country in which nobody's above the law. Anyway, here's some things that voters are being. Number one, elections are secure and no evidence of any rigging. Nothing that would change. Well, the elections are secure, and that we know that. The way we can know that is because elections are fully auditable. We'd be quite sure because they're fully auditable. That's what they tell us. They also tell us that we need to make changes to our system that it can be audited. Already fully auditable. We've got to make some really big changes in lots of states and lots of ways. Totally secure.
There we go.
But we got some really big changes to make it secure. All is already secure. They're telling us that right in front of us. Now, there's no such thing as this. There's only such a thing as you got a result and people accepted it or they didn't. There's no way to know if a state actor is capable of hacking the Iranian nuclear program
power grid. The city will be experiencing rolling
or the Chinese hackers who are allegedly already inside our most infrastructure in the United States. What in the world would you know if you walked in an insider cover their tracks? She wouldn't. But the idiot Democrats, who are just a democracy, running the country, have decided that they can tell you that it's secure while also telling you at the same time you have to make some big changes but secure. Then read a ridiculous story. Pollock is writing about this in Breitbart. There's a billionaire Hamas official that said, although Gaza is destroyed, that's not all bad news. First step toward action. How do you deal with an enemy who kind of likes death? Thinks that global death is the best situation because it get your bird, get your paradise. It's the weirdest situation where they're glad that they're being killed because they're sure that feels like winning. I don't feel like it's even unethical to kill your thinks is better than off. It's sort of a gray area. Hey, like, you believe that life is better after death. Oh yes. The whole deal is we're playing big game. This life stuff is important, but afterlife. So I killed you while you were in the service of trying to chase religion. The other reason
There we
you
go.
would have
Finally,
the best
a
possible.
little bit of green.
Yes, I would. I wouldn't be helpful here on Earth anymore.
All right.
But it would be the best outcome for me. I'd be living with God. Not so sure. It's unethical to kill that person. I don't know. It's a little bit of a gray area. Giving somebody what they want more than anything in the world, an honorable death, it's hard to feel bad about that. Now you might say, let's
Yeah.
Still haven't changed the battery on your doorknob yet. You need to do that.
On my what?
On your doorknob. Thank you for letting me borrow your keys.
Through the we just separated them. Parents aren't watching. 10 years old. You think about dying as a martyr. Oh, good stuff. I cannot wait to die. I am so looking forward to dying as a martyr. I can't wait. You talk to mom. Did you do this? Well, I mean, I didn't do it. The schools did it, but I agree with it. What? You agree with it? So even you're okay with your child dying? Yeah, I mean, if it's he's doing the right thing, he goes down. Stuff. Now, obviously, the people from Gaza are not on mind, and so I'm, it's a very imaginary person. So don't assume that they're all like that. But you're fighting a group that's presenting itself as a unified thing. That unified thing seems to want to die. Literally. So I'm going to say it again. Tragedy when anybody's being killed. Human being. But if you're going to look at it politically, it's hard to feel sorry for a group of people who prefer context. And it's hard to fault somebody who gives them what they want. You're going to be crazy about that. So you have a situation. I'll need a religious check on this. Somebody give me a fact. Is it true that if you're Jewish, you don't believe in the afterlife? Not a heaven, virgins. You're more about what's happening while you're alive. Is that fair to say, or do I have that missed? And would it be fair to say that Islam has the opposite emphasis? The worldly stuff is important. You're really playing for the afterlife. So how do two people live in peace when one thing the afterlife is the important? Draw that up on paper. Just draw that on paper and act like you've never heard of Israel or Gaza. On paper. You got two enemies. One likes to be dead, one likes to be alive. Where's that going to end? The incentive system is very clear. The ones who want to stay alive will do everything in their power to kill the ones who want to be dead. And so they both win. And see, the mistake that observers make is that there could be a win-win if they make it. It's a win-win if you both have the same idea of where the payoff is. I think the payoff is during life. You're not going to find a way to compromise with something. I don't think that's doable. I mean, not in the long run. Reality of best to do things. But on paper, Israel should eventually kill everybody who believes that. It might take a while. But if both people want the same thing, I want to kill you, so you want to be dead, I think we can work out an arrangement. Apparently that's what Gaza is. A bunch of people in Gaza, too many of them. Not all of them. There's no proof that. But Gaza said, hey, I think we'd rather be dead than what's going on now. Okay. Israel said, I don't agree with that. Rather be dead, we'd be happy with it. So every time somebody says, why don't they get together and solve their differences, I sit here and think, what difference? One side wants to be dead, the other side wants to kill them for very good reasons. How am I supposed to feel about that? Why should I get involved? Now, if that sounds a little too pro, let me balance it out a little bit. I don't give a fuck about your holiday. Period. Give a fuck about it. Don't tell me that I have to make decisions based. A lot of people have had hard times. Plus, I don't give a fuck about your slavery. Really don't care at all. I don't care, and if you're looking at the past, I don't care that much about it. You're not somebody I want to spend a lot. If you want to figure out how to start from wherever you are, because we're not. We're a system. We're not starting from the system. If you'd like to figure out how to optimize your situation in the future, all in, wrote a book on it. Give some advice. Tell you how to maximize your situation and how you find it. I'm all in on that. If Israel says, when you start today, build organization, all in. I'm all in. I don't want to care. I don't want to about your holiday. It's exactly as bad as you say it is. I don't care. Stop making me care. I don't care. I care about your slavery. I care about your Holocaust. I'm not going to make you care. I can be your friend, and I can help you in every way that I can possibly. Don't make me care about bullshit. Oh, not bullshit. Happened. But don't make me care about it. It's just not helping you, and it's not helping me. Okay. So that is my provocative show for today. It's going to be lit to see if the needle gets moved. Wait. My prediction is it will not become chaotic. They'll find at least one thing he says. We'll sell it. They're so committed to finding it. If you hire ghost hunters, because you think there's ghosts in the house, you'll find them. They're ghost hunters. Doesn't matter if there's a ghost. They're ghost hunters. Get paid to find a ghost. If you think that chaos is going to be there, you're in the press and think it's your job to point it out, you're going to find some chaos, even if it's not. So you can guarantee that something will happen that they will call chaos. You and I look at it and say, are you kidding me? This looks like another hoax to add to your hoax. So you can guarantee that even if Biden falls asleep and falls out of his chair, has a stroke, that the CNN and MSNBC people will say, you know what? A lot better than we were. Call that a win. Expectation.
This is an emergency
So, to imagine that there's going to be a kill shot debate, I think is optimistic, although it's fun. It's not impossible. Yeah, there's a non-zero chance of it. And
I don't see anything.
I think Trump's strategy is going to be to get under Biden's skin, but not in the normal Trump way, which would be a little. I think he's going to just slide. Look for the kill shot, he said in mild tones. Here's not a kill. Your whole family is a bunch of criminals. Here's the kill shot. He said the election was rigged. It was rigged. Here's the kill shot. Does anybody know why we have machines? Don't make things faster. Not more fast. They're not cheaper. Not easier. We have them. The only reason I can think of purpose of rigging an election. Now, I'm not saying that will be the one. I'm just saying that the kill shot is going to be the one he's in a matter of fact.
Unemployment is
because
quite
if you
high.
really want to get under his skin,
I do not like
you
that.
don't want to make it a shouting match, because he'll just shout. If you go, "Ah, you're a criminal," he's just going to yell back, "Ah, you're a criminal." So you got to say the factual thing that nobody can argue against. No reason why. There might be one, by the way. The fact that we don't know what it is.
But they're fairly happy.
Right. So I don't think there'll be a result, but I also don't think that the election will give us. I'd be very surprised. I think we've actually and swear. But whoever loses is going to say it was wrong. It might be. I think it's entirely likely, actually. All right, that's all for now. I'm going to say goodbye to the Rumble X.
And it's funny because I accuse people of having syndrome, and I certainly don't think Cassandra Fairbanks has Israel's arrangement syndrome. Very smart and really understands her criticism. We I don't get nearly as fervent on the issue, and she works here, and it's funny because people are like, more particularly to show for Israel, and I'm like, yo, Cassandra can literally say anything she wants. And she does. And there's no circumstance where I'm going to tell her to stop saying what she wants to say. It is an absurdity to me that a company would exist where it's like, you want to control the opinions of our staff. If somebody worked here and they were a communist, maybe there's a line. To be fair, I gotta be honest, we've had people skate at the boonies who are leftists. And you know why it's fine and okay, and I'm not going to throw them out? Because I had this guy say to me, hey, look, man, I know we disagree politically, but we're here to skate together. Like, awesome. That's the game. That's life, okay? You and I, we're going to disagree, and we're going to skate together and find out where we as Americans can work together. So there are people here who you've got radically different opinions. There's a couple people, I think, who are staunch advocates for Israel. And at the same time as Cassandra, who like just is like one of the most critics of Israel. I love that. I think it's an important thing for a company like ours to have respectful disagreements with each other and still be able to eat pizza and wings and hang out.
All right, I got it working.
That we are fiercely disagree, because success, like what we want to succeed at, is making sure this country remains cohesive despite our disagreements. That's what it's supposed to be. So I can't say I'm better than anybody. Any of these other channels. I like the Daily Wire. I am critical of the Daily Wire over the whole fiasco with Candace. I don't think it's completely in favor of this, but I think overwhelmingly, I think there are issues there where Candace is clearly in the simply. She had opinions, they didn't like her opinions. If you're going to hire someone who I think you're going to have to accept that's the case. And you do at Timcast, like, Cassandra's on Twitter saying whatever she wants. And people will say things like, you know, aren't you worried Tim's going to mention, like, he can't tell me what to say? And I'm like, I wouldn't dream of it. Like, I love it. It makes me feel so good inside knowing Cassandra says what she wants.
Try to keep the taxes down.
And Phil, too. Phil says whatever he wants. Phil doesn't even, Phil contracts, and as an aside, appears as a free guest. And I'm just like, dude, all of these people need to be their own people, speak their minds when they want to. That is the integrity of what Timcast is. Like, this company is, I have my opinions.
Low trash, high money.
Like, there's all yes men around them and whatever, and it's like, maybe, you know, I'm not going to be so blind as to be like, look, I'm the boss, and there are people who don't want to, or whatever, but for the most part, I encourage people to disagree. And I'm glad they do. I've never told anyone to delete social media posts. The most I've ever done is I've asked someone to consider what the effect.
I have a political opinion in case, or perspective in case you guys are wondering.
I was like, absolutely not. Keep your post up. Like, I will never be that.
But don't worry about it.
Opinion offends
Just
me.
listen
I'm
to the show.
Like, nah, get out of here. We'll navigate that. And there, people get pissed off about it. We get accused of shilling for Israel and also being anti-Israel at the same time. We had someone go on this tirade on Twitter claiming that you're anti-Israel, and we won't vote that because we hate Jews and stuff. And Cassandra, I love this. She's so critical of Israel, and she books tons of Jews who are pro-Israel, because she's of sound mind. I think we do a good job. I do. I'll say for PBD, I also think he's brilliant. Man, why did he hire Cuomo? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not perfect, dude, but I appreciate the super chat. I really do. What is this? Indy says, meet Kevin just sued CNN. Yo! Oh, meet Kevin. He's a good dude. I had him on, I think we had him on the Culture War. I like that guy.
Very cool.
Meet Kevin. Let's see. I'm pulling up his Twitter account right now. Let's see. He's got that one. Here's a video. All right, let's do this. Let's roll this segment. Ladies and gentlemen, we have this story, a tweet from Meet Kevin. Breaking news. We've just filed a lawsuit against CNN to protect free speech during the Trump versus Biden debate. CNN's refusal to allow independent commentary stifles diverse voices and violates fair competition. This is not just about a debate. It's about preserving the integrity of public discourse in America. We demand that CNN allow independent voices to provide live commentary. Americans deserve to hear from all sides, especially on such a crucial day. We will not stand by. CNN ignores nonpartisan norms, silences candidates with mic mutes, and a lack of in-studio audience, silences independent media, and silences public commentary during the debate by banning streamers and YouTubers from covering the event. This is corporate discrimination, unfair competition, felony under the Antitrust Act, violates FCC regulations, violates the Communications Act of 1934, violates the First Amendment, and violates the Fair Use Doctrine. I'm going to shout out corporate discrimination and unfair competition. CNN says Fox, ABC, whoever else, they get to run this, but you can't, independent personalities. That is absolutely unfair competition. Amazing. All we ask is that CNN allow independent creators to comment on the debate stream, so that Americans can listen to the commentary, fact checkers, they'd like to during one of the most debates in American history. CNN censorship is un-American and undemocratic. By silencing debate commentary and threatening DMCA takedowns of the debate stream, CNN destroys the public forum, which is a presidential debate. They ruin election integrity and they rob Americans of critical perspective at the most critical time of the debate. Agreed. He is spot on. Want no commentary? Go to CNN. Want Fox's opinion? Listen on Fox News. Want Patrick Bet David, Timcast, Breaking Points, or David Pakman Show? You should have the right to choose and listen to their commentary during the most critical moments. We will not stand by and do nothing. Fight for what's right in America, and we will pay for it. We'll lead the fight against the corporation, the corruption of CNN. This isn't even the first time CNN's tried to silence me. Censorship ends now. Retweet and share to help us get an emergency injunction today. This is critical for America. I hope to stream on X, Twitch, and YouTube my debate commentary today. See you soon. Bravo. Oh, dude, right on. We had this conversation internally about what our legal remedies were. And the issue is, yeah, you needed an emergency injunction barring CNN from filing DMCA takedowns on this. Let me play some of what Meet Kevin's has to say on this one. It is a longer video, so I don't know that I can play the full thing for you guys, but let's listen.
They've just filed a lawsuit against CNN for their un-American censorship, independent media outlets, and a very historic the Trump versus Joe Biden presidential debate. It is currently 1:12 a.m. on the morning of the debate. We have just finished compiling.
He's a night owl, I suppose.
And we are seeking an emergency.
He's actually both a night owl and an early riser.
Get fair access to the commentary out this debate.
He didn't sleep.
CNN right now desires unchecked power to control 50% of the presidential debates expecting to get in the 2024 election. It's a nasty power grab, and unfortunately, CNN get away with it. We stop them. This is not about left or right. This isn't about a Democrat or Republican. This is about and CNN being anti-democratic, anti-American. That's why, again, just moments ago, we filed a substantial lawsuit against CNN. We're asking for your hoping you share this and let anybody you know that there is now a lawsuit against CNN All we're asking that they allow independent journalists and anyone who wants to comment on the debate live stream to allow them to exercise their First Amendment privilege to comment and to provide insight to anybody who wants.
So I'll add this. Follow me on X at Timcast. I just retweeted this. You guys, if you can, retweet this, blast that, let everybody know what Meet Kevin is doing. I do want to stress, we don't need CNN's permission. And so I think the framing here is important. What we are demanding is that CNN not abuse DMCA automated systems to falsely shut down legitimate commentary and criticism. That's what matters right here. This is a tremendous move. Spoiled.
So that way, if you want to flip CNN or Fox, you want to hear Fox commentary during the debate, you want to flip over to listen to my buddy Tim Pool or my friends over at Breaking Points, you want to listen to Patrick and David, or you want to listen to what Kevin has to say during the debate, or you want to flip between all of us while we're streaming the debate, you would be able to. We can get the
These guys
instruction.
are honestly all middle of the road.
We're filing this lawsuit. Here. Not asking for money, just asking for help in getting the word out. So that way, hopefully, get a full court or injunction request. Grant it. We've got to move fast. So right now, before we get into some of the details of the lawsuit, if you can, hit like, retweet, post it on Facebook, whatever you got to do for the algorithm, help us out on this one. You know that you stand for free speech. I stand for free speech, and we're just here to fight the good fight to make sure free speech and independent journalists are allowed to comment on the debate.
Hey man, I really respect this. We didn't know if we could make a move like that. We didn't know how we would make a move like that. How we would. Meet Kevin, you are on top of it. Because we discussed this. Do we send a cease and desist? Do we request an injunction? He went for it. So I hope he succeeds. It's generally simple. We expect, based on CNN's statements to the press,
So if I make a police station,
and to various channels,
19,000 a
that
month.
their intention
This
is
is
to try
hourly.
and use automated DMCA to take
So
down
basically,
any show
I think the way they
that
do it
is
in
going
this
to
game is
provide
they divide it by
commentary
12.
They're trying to privatize the public sector, and I think it's that's an aside.
Or 24?
We have this amazing this is, President Joseph R. Biden, and on the back, Donald Trump in prison.
See what
It's
it
the
does.
president or prison coin. I just figured as I was listening to Meet Kevin, I'd pop these open. I got two of them. I'm gonna open the
Okay,
other
we're
one.
looking alright.
The one of
Looking alright.
they really seal the box. I got the one right here of Biden in prison. There we go. President Prison Collection. Here we have Donald Trump. Donald Trump being sworn in on the back, Joe Biden in prison. How about that? We got them both, ladies and gentlemen. We are milquetoast centrists here, guys. Just as an aside, totally on segment. But I do want to give a shout out to Meet Kevin. I'm going to put this one up in about an hour, standalone clip. And about what he's working on
Okay.
and get this injunction. Just another big move, I suppose, in pushing back against CNN. And I don't know. It's wild, but I'm not surprised. I mean, CNN is a desperate, dying entity, as we already saw in this. I'm going to bring this up in this segment as well, just because it's important. 80,000. They're keyed out. They're just admitting it. 80,000. That is absolutely wild. It's barely any people. Dude, crap, I got a video of me doing a switch heart flip on Instagram. It's got 200,000 views. That's crazy. CNN is in dire straits, and in their desperation, they are going to lash out. I put up a video yesterday of just like a basic skate run. It's got 7. CNN's losing it. They're desperate. I hope we can see an emergency injunction. I kind of don't think that we will. I will add this though. I've had communications with some individuals I need to be careful about how I say this, but let me just say, my understanding is YouTube may not comply with these takedowns. I think this is having something to do with the attack seems to be against YouTube as an entity and not against the individual personalities. Like I mentioned in a previous segment, CNN is telling big channels we can use the stream on our websites and charge money and all that stuff, just not YouTube. I think YouTube is taking personal offense to that, being told that they are not allowed to have this stream on their platform, but that we are all allowed to. What this does is fascinating. CNN has launched an unprecedented attack on YouTube to force its biggest personalities to monetize their own platforms and websites, damaging YouTube. I can respect it to a certain extent, except we use YouTube. So there's a big challenge, because I have talked about this with some of the other personalities too, like, do we just do our commentary streams on our websites and not have to worry about any takedowns, not have to worry about YouTube? It seems like CNN is exploiting YouTube's automated system to force YouTube to lose massive portions of the audience. CNN's desperation and loss of ratings, this may be their strategy. They would rather see Timcast and whoever else succeed at an independent level with their own audience and allow YouTube to have this monopoly on rebroadcasting. This is just bad news for YouTube, but I'll wrap this segment up because that was the gist, but that was an important. And head back over to Timcast. So make sure you follow me on X at Timcast. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Share this show. This is my morning show channel. Y'all, if you want to share this one, it's private if you haven't. And also head over to timcast.com, click and join us, become a member, and let's go. We'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. for the debate. Live right now. We'll go to Super Chat with the rest of you. We will see you tonight. Thanks for watching. And that's a wrap on that segment. Let's grab your Super Chats, and I think we'll do another 10 minutes or so, giving 2 hours at morning, allowing my crew time to come in and actually building out this multi-streaming system. What do we got? Ryan Holloway says, I just drove past Biden's house in Wilmington, Delaware, and he is home with a amphetamines cocktail. Why is he here for any reason? Oh, he's at his house? Tom says, love the show. Any plans to have Andrew Wilson back on? I know it got heated on the last Culture War, but he definitely is. Definitely. Heated is what we want. We were supposed to wrap up the Culture War. It's a 2-hour, extra hour as we debated Civil War. But my disagreement and frustration, Andrew Wilson, is my friends, if you see a kid playing with magic, you're going to be like, hey, be careful there, that's going to start a fire. And then, a few minutes later, you see smoke coming out of the backyard and there's a fire there. And you go, there's a fire right there. You guys should put that fire out. That fire it's a small fire right now, but it can get big. Then everyone's like, yeah. Then a few hours later, you come back and the fire is now burned down the garage. And you're like, holy crap, the garage is gone. And they're like, yeah, whatever. Then the fire's still spreading to other. You're like, guys, if this fire doesn't get put out, the neighbor will go up. Andrew Wilson's general response, and people like it, which frustrates me, is it's gonna be put out. Fires burn themselves, and you're like, it is worse than it's ever been. The argument was basically, he said, you keep saying Civil War's coming. Where's the Civil War, Tim? Where's the Civil War? And I was like, it's really funny because I've addressed that point. I've never literally said there will be a Civil War tomorrow. The things we are seeing are the paths to Civil War, are historically reminiscent of precursors to Civil War. I said, academics have said, academics, authors on left and right, that we are in civil strife, like Bleeding Kansas, the period before a Civil War. That means escalation. The next escalation is active civil conflict in this country, which I don't believe necessarily starts right away. Andrew Wilson did not have a direct response to that other than he didn't research it, he doesn't know, he just thinks Biden will win, and that conservatives will just accept it. I think that is an absurd nonsense. That was the debate. The idea that after the summer of love, Joe Biden's election, when Trump supporters actually rioted at the Capitol building, stormed in, that this time around they're too tired and nothing happened, just seems like an absurdity. For like, what is the logical pathway to make the argument that this time Biden will win again, and now Trump supporters are going to go, oh, well, we tried 4 years ago, I guess we're done. Nice, it was good having the country, I'm going home. That doesn't make any sense at all. My argument was, we have a multitude of scenarios that could happen in the event of Biden victory, but regardless of who wins, nobody will accept the results. And the likely scenario is simply shattering of confidence in government. That is to say that Trump supporters, people on the right, begin to view the government as illegitimate. They will lose confidence in law enforcement apparatus. They will begin to regard laws in the same way the far Antifa does. What we have already seen in cities, Portland, where Antifa goes around with guns and rifles and takes over and does whatever they want. We will see a right-wing version of that in smaller towns. Not that the right is going to go storm buildings and kill people or anything like that, but that they're going to stop regarding what matters to them in their lives. This is the precursor to social decay, the collapse of the Soviet Union. I don't see how any of that is incorrect. Like, these are all just basic fact statements. The far left has already disregarded their laws. Portland and the cities are already in chaos. There's already roving bands of marauders smashing up department stores in LA, Chicago, New York, and in San Francisco and Washington. That's the norm. Andrew's response was, yeah, but that's the left. That's the left. That's what the left does. It's like, right, I know. It's unprecedented. Past few years, it's been an escalation. 2018, when I said, wow, the media is talking about things, we looked at the ground assessment and academic perspective and history, and yeah, this is a track towards that. See, and since then, what have we gotten? Summer of Love riots, the Jazz, Autonomous Zone, the Wendy's Autonomous Zone in Atlanta. We've had sections of city taken over by far leftists. It's not cop city. 100 plus far left extremists firebombed equipment, burned down houses, flipped over a guy's truck. I'm like, all of these things are unprecedented. That's why they call it right. Now, by all means, please explain to me where you think the off-ramp is, where people decide to simmer down, where law enforcement decides to actually reinforce and defund, where people start to fear the police. When you've got chain stores shutting down because of inflation, when you've got Walgreens shutting down because of mass shoplifting, and still you have roving bands smashing up department stores, this is all escalation, and it is all easily predictable. And I predicted it. But it's general vague predictions. Guys, there's a fire over here and no one does anything about it. We're expected to see a fire get bigger in the next few years, and that's happening. So that was the gist of the debate. Andrew Wilson's view is that come the election, Joe Biden will win. Trump supporters will calmly accept it and do nothing. It's a shocking assessment to me. It makes no sense at all. But he was like, yeah, they're not going to do anything. Republicans aren't going to do anything. Biden's going to win. It's the same thing for the next 4 years. And I'm like, that feels, I suppose the probability is there, of course. I make the argument every time I talk about this that, for all I know, tomorrow, Trump comes out with a tear in his eye and says, we cannot have this division. Biden, come here, buddy. They hug, and then he calls on all Trump supporters to become friends with Biden supporters, and everyone just sings a song holding. Right? The reason I describe it that way is like, what? That's never going to happen. They're advancing child sex change surgery. They're trying to get abortion past the point of birth. States are hyperpolar. People are moving in states due to hyperpolarism. Florida's become deeper red. Oklahoma bans abortion. Colorado unrestricted complete birth. Everything we are seeing is indicative of hyperpolarization violence. Explain to me why you think that stops. Maybe it does. I'm just saying, that doesn't really seem likely, does it? It's a weird... What frustrates me is the people who are like, despite the fact that we've seen dramatic escalation on every single front, including international conflict, despite the fact that the federal government has become hyperpolarized, that Merrick Garland is defying subpoenas, DOJ will not hold him accountable. Meanwhile, an unprecedented maneuver. Our executive branch staffers, Bannon and Navarro, are going to prison. Navarro's in prison, Bannon's going to prison. Unprecedented. The president has been charged with 90 plus criminal indictments, criminal charges. They're trying to put him in prison. They've convicted him. All of this is unprecedented. Unprecedented. And the response from people is, nothing's gonna happen. And I'm like, but it did happen. What world do you live in? They're trying to put Trump in prison. They took over several city blocks of their towns. They shot and killed people in the streets. In Provo, Utah, they ran up to a car and shot a guy for no reason. In Portland, they shot and killed several people. They unloaded for 10 minutes hundreds of rounds from rifles into a white. It was a white truck being joyride by a couple teenagers. In Atlanta, they took over and burned down a Wendy's. Stop Cop City raided police property and torched private homes. That's crazy. To say this is the peak and it stops, perhaps. Perhaps it's as hard as things get and everyone goes, you better simmer down. The only thing we've seen over the past 8 years has been escalation and more escalation. I don't see what the argument is. Nothing happening in November. They just make literally no sense. If the academics left and right think that this is civil strife, and we do not have any at all. In fact, the media is just fanning the flames. Joy Reid said Trump adores Hitler. Something to that effect. Like, it's only getting crazier. We're going to do this. We got 10 more minutes. We're going to read your super chats. Actually, there may not be enough super chats for 10 minutes. Read what you got. All right. So let's do this. We'll go up a little bit and see what we've got. All right. Kermit Akilla says, I always watch on YouTube, but I also have a IRL membership. So if you get the boot, I'll be there right on. Christian W says, I think there's a good chance the current administration has been given the questions ahead of time. Trump will be given extremely biased questions. The format lends itself to this very well. Would be the story of the year if true. Bonus Holes, good name, says, Elon lied about free speech. We've been permabanned since April. All appeal denied. We broke no laws. I don't think that Elon lied. I think that Elon is a single individual who is not capable of handling the entirety of this machine and users. All right, Jack Johnson says, will Trump's team be recording the debate on phones to show uncut footage in case CNN wants to play cheap fake games? Well, that's the importance of commentatorship, so that we can counter those narratives for sure. Bonus Hole says, tell Elon to free at bonus holes. Why you got me? Barely a Millennial says, Tim, have you ever considered crowdsourced projects on Timcast website? Well, we want to open up the source code for a video game, which kind of died, and it's called Normie Quest. I think it's funny. Game. It needs work, but it's fun. So we want to release that to our Discord members. They can have at it. Natorin says, alleged felon / allegedly guilty. The left plays games with words. So can we. No better example of convicted felon being meaningless than Michael Cohen. Oh yeah. Joe Biden's been credibly accused of rape. Credibly. Stupid. Blooded Timber Farms says, I can respect the right for trying to build culture, but the issue was DW's Mr. Burcham and X's new norm so bad. DW's Terror on the Prairie sucks too. Did it really? I'm not gonna be honest, I didn't see him. It's a bummer about Mr. Burcham. I gotta give a shout out to Seamus Coughlin. He's funny. He's very funny. Hopefully. But, and keep trying. Ken Yoder says, I just think if you work for a news company like TBS News, then you should try your best to appear neutral on controversial, divisive topics like Israel. Incorrect. Cassandra has a tremendous integrity and honor, and she's very critical of Israel, and she's very critical of politicians. And I'll tell you exactly how. When a story emerges, which Cassandra knows she's biased, she says, I cannot be involved in this story, I'm biased. And that's what you should do. The idea that journalists are unbiased on everything or should pretend to be, I think is silly. However, the problem is, what corporate press does is they go, it's impossible to be unbiased. All people have biases. Therefore, you're allowed to lie to you. No. Here's what you do. Cassandra will post in our newsroom. She'll say, wow, this story's crazy. There's no way I can write about this fairly. And then someone else will pick the story. That's what you do. I'm not going to pretend Cassandra likes Israel. That's stupid. There's no reason for her to pretend she likes it. She should absolutely speak her mind. And then when these stories come up, she can hand them off to people where it will be done better. The one area where I think this is not that big a deal is when Cassandra writes about monkeys. She's absolutely biased. She loves monkeys. Monkeys are based. And so when she writes about monkeys, she writes with passion. That I think is totally. But when it comes to issues of like political matters, Cassandra always hands the story off. When she has a conflict of interest beliefs. It's why I think she's one of the best in news media, and she does a really amazing work, and that's why we're good friends, because she has honor and integrity. That's you got it. I can't. There's so many of these leftists that shout out to Cassandra. You're awesome. All right. Fortone says, love the show. Any plans to adventure? Well, I did agree. Absolutely that. Bar Tucker says, how you play shenanigans as I. Well, I only pull it out for hardcore blue players. Scramble versus and chat. Absolutely. Scramble verse. Scramble verse, that's where you shuffle all permanents and then distribute them randomly, right? All against them. All against them. And to be fair, my favorite deck that I've built is Thassa. Thassa, at the end of your turn, will remove one of your cards from play and then enter it back into play, which just re-triggers enter the battlefield mechanics. And then you do a whole bunch of really powerful stuff by cards. A lot of counter spells. Really fun deck. And one of my favorite. It's a straightforward mono blue. And then I have a Kiki deck, which it's the Gilded deck. It's my favorites. Absurdly powerful. Where the Treacherous Ogre wins on like turn 3. Ridiculous. And all of the cards are either original print or foil rare versions. So it's mono red, but there's like I have an alpha Gauntlet of Power in it. Oof. Yeah, we got some expensive Magic the Gathering cards up here. I own an Ancestor.
I play Magic too, obviously.
I don't have the only Power 9 that I own. And boy, I wish when I was 12 I bought. Alpha was, I think, might have been 7. Let's go. Oh, we'll grab a few more Super Jets here. Nikolai says, how many of you think that Timcast according swatted during the game? There will be no swattings in the Timcast property. It is not possible. Not possible for them. At the castle, you're dealing with a house. And so they drove into the house. It was a big mansion that we used. For Damastan, we're talking a massive forested property in the middle of nowhere with barricades and multiple buildings, and it's just you wouldn't be able to SWAT it because you don't know where we are. That's just it. All right, grab some more. So Yemsy says, hey Tim, if you lower your membership for a short time, I'll sign up and watch tonight on your website. There's actually a challenge that we have. We've considered whether we do lower memberships or whether we and this is the number where we're doing well enough profit-wise, but not stressed. It's not like a massive margin, okay? And we're like a balancing act. The challenge we're facing is the inflation under Biden is absolutely psychotic, and so he may actually have to raise memberships in the next year. Hopefully, Trump gets elected and turns things around, and we don't. But two things happen. People can't afford the $10, and so they leave. And then we're like, do we have to lower it? It's like, well, we can't. Bandwidth costs, staffing costs, internet, electricity. If we lower it to try and get people back, we're just losing money now on other like we don't cover the costs. With inflation, to cover the costs, we actually need to increase memberships. But then people will drop off and we lose money. So we're in a stasis period where it's like we're paralyzed. It's going to stay where it is, and it's like a crazy challenge dealing with scale. For an individual who's like, I can afford $8, it's like I expect number for you. Challenge is if we make it 8 for one person, then the people who are 10 drop. Like we could do is promo codes, and give everybody like a month. I don't know if we have to actually insist set up to do a code like Daily Wire. We really. Because we probably make way more money said Sunday and get 20% off or something. And so that's probably something we should figure out. We are not as big technically as like the Daily Wire. I think massive. Seagliss says, Tim, please put up CC on the CNN feed so that viewers can listen to commentary, but also... I don't know that we can... Oh, like, yeah, whatever the closed cap, yeah, for sure. CNN, for sure. Adrian Curry says, offer monthly and yearly with a slight discount for yearly. That is... We are not as robust as some of the bigger networks who are able to do that. Yearly has its pros and cons. We have to build the system. It's like, man, we're stretched so thin. The thing about yearly is that with it discount, so if we did like it's $100 for the year, like $99 for the year, and then you end up saving a little bit, is you get a bulk of your memberships all at once, and then budgeting becomes a bit more difficult. So it's like, man, you always really want to go for monthly. Here's the challenge. With the yearly membership, people forget, and then come April, they get hit by $100, and they go, holy crap, I forgot that was happening, and then you get chargebacks, and we're not big enough to sustain large chargebacks, so it's like, we want to. I think ultimately it's an issue of, we're really just one big show with a lot of shows, and we're not like the Daily Wire, a bunch of shows, big network, big technical. So, we still want to figure that one out. Alright, let's go. What's this? Robert Mara says, I'll still bet you $100 they make President Trump try to break his gag order, and all the outlets just run about how he has no law. Alright, we'll grab one more here. Oriok says, hey Tim, do you ever draft in Magic the Gathering? In my opinion, it's the best game. I would love to draft battle you and the crew. I disagree, I don't like drafts. I don't like drafts at all. And, those that don't know what drafting is, you get sealed booster packs of 14 cards each. You open them up, pull a card, and then you pass the pack to your left and right, and until all the... Then you open the next pack, and you pass it to your right, cabinet side. Choose a card until... That way it's fine. The last draft I was in was Gross, and I think it was there. It might have been Brandon Nix or something. Someone pulled in a Johnny Planeswalker, and it's just like, you got a mythic rare and one of the most powerful, and you can't lose. And guess what? They won. They undefeated. It's like great. They made their deck. They got a Johnny. No one had any effective means of dealing with powerful cards, and the dude won. And I'm like, that's the problem. I also don't like constructed standard. That's boring, and it is solved instantly.
Hello?
Hi, this is Laz. I'm calling from AAA Auto Repair.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you doing? So I just wanted to call you, talk to you. So we are still in the middle of diagnosing your batteries. We're trying to, see if they're holding charge. I want to tell them to put them on a good charge and see.
Okay.
And without us having to charge. As far as it goes with this leak, you most definitely have a pretty bad coolant. Did fine, but apparently what it looks like is your water pump.
Okay.
Water pump is leaking, and since we're doing the water pump and it's driven by the serpentine belt, he's recommending serpentine belt and the alternator belt, just to have to move and got saturated. And then by the mileage and the circumstances of what happened, he's also recommending to replace for radiator hose.
Okay.
Just to prevent, future issues.
Okay.
And as well the thermostat when you do the water pump. Just want to make sure you get good.
Okay.
So to get all that done, we would be looking at a grand total before any batteries parts or anything. We're looking at a grand total of $3,135.
Alright, well, what can we cut out of there that's not absolutely essential? I do want to get the, cooling issue solved.
Yes.
So what can we cut out of there that's not absolutely essential?
I would most definitely recommend doing the thermostat. The hoses, they're not physically, we don't see any kind of leaking at this point. But, we haven't hooked up everything and we haven't been able to pressure test it fully because of the water pump leak. So I mean, kind of like, it's all crucial to get done, but the hoses at this point we don't see them leaking. See the water pump leaking, so I mean I can say we could possibly hold off maybe on the hoses, but I don't want to put 100% guarantee until definitely fix those.
Okay, let's hold off on the hoses then. What about the serpentine belt?
The serpentine belts, I would most definitely, you already have to take those off. So I mean plus they've been saturated in coolant. Very well could be have a squeak. It could appear a squeak because of the saturation of the coolant.
A squeak?
Yeah, you might have a squeak after a while because what it is coolant has like a formula in it, and it could, eventually break down the rubber on the belts, cause it to dry out, and then you're set on the gas or something.
Okay, well, we'll hold off on that one. I can wait a little bit. Maybe I can come in and get it replaced later. So we have the cooler, or pardon me, the water pump, and what else left?
And the water pump and the thermostat.
Okay, what does the thermostat cost to get replaced?
The thermostat we're looking at $256.04.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and stand by on that then. Let's just do the water pump.
Okay, so you want to do just only the water pump,
Mm-hmm.
and then take it from there.
Yeah, step by step.
So do just the water pump with the. So we are looking about $2,585.74.
Do you have any veteran discounts or anything like that?
I can see the manager if he can buy one. I can let him know.
Okay.
And, we'll take care of you as much as we can. I most definitely will.
Okay, all right.
That's just a water pump and just topping it on back up.
Okay,
The two diagnosis.
all right. So the fan wasn't an issue in front of the radiator then?
The fan is connected to the fan clutch right in front of the water pump.
Okay.
So we still, we haven't seen any kind of issues. We haven't been able to run the vehicle too much because we don't want it to overheat.
Okay.
Once we do get coolant in it, get the water pump fixed, most definitely will. Once it's not leaking, try and get it up to temperature, get it up to pressure, and check it for kind of fan operation and making sure everything is working properly.
Copy that.
Okay? Definitely keep you updated. This will into next week. Is that going to be any kind of problem?
We got time.
It's we're there, so I most definitely will.
All right, well, I'll be here.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much. Bye. Pretty much what was expected. They're the only game in town when it comes to fixing up RVs, so you can charge quite a bit. Because I want to get more services all set up and stuff. I'm pretty much having to stand by for a little bit to get the money back. I guess I could expand more. Okay, let's expand a little. Just gotta be careful. Gonna be mostly low-rent housing because I can't afford many services right now. Excuse me. Yeah, services bill. Expand too much, then I'm going to have too much of a population and it's going to overload the dump, and if I overload the dump, then the income is going to be drained to almost nothing. Or I'm going to be in the negative. I need to save up enough money to where I can get myself a recycling center. And probably an incinerator. In fact, here, trash issues are quite big. Or the best option is to create office space right now because they create the least amount of garbage essentially. They also give the most income. Well, that'll work okay, I suppose. Dun, 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 boom, 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 boom. Dong, 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 dong. I get a lot of spam. Dum da dum 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 da dum da dum 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 da dum dum. Excuse me. That for 120. That'd be like 450 a month. Expense. Not terrible. A lot of expansion I can do on this. But I'm surprised, even with those wages, or the total expense, it's not weighing me down. Last iteration of the city I was making it did. So it's okay, not horrible. Down. I guess I struck a certain balance. Good. Like I still need to make a fire station, a high school, a college, transportation. Stuff I still need to make. To do it. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Doing okay. Little bits, but the more I do that, the greener it gets. So many services. They even have a post office. I'd like to build that. So I want to build a fire station. I'll wait until I have at least 150,000. I do. Do it. Put it right here. Hello, Spectra XFX. Glad to have you lurking. Welcome, welcome, welcome. They've definitely made this game a butt-ton harder with this Economy 2.0 patch. So far, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Need to be careful and slow and methodical, and that's good. Not simply a paint simulator, city painter or whatever. man. I go fast. Well, originally I was like blazing through. But I want to build a city right, you know? When I'm doing these types of things, I want a little bit of a challenge. If I can get it at least semi-close to reality in terms of how hard it is, then I'm learning something. I'd actually be able to take that to real life. Do something with it. I don't know. That's just my thought process. This is just a management sim, but it still teaches you a lot about real estate and city management, planning and stuff like that. Like real life stuff. So it's pretty cool. Chiron, relax. Hope you've been well though. Sorry I haven't been able to work 64 hours last week. First week back, work should be solid 1K. Nice. New CPU and alright, man. Hey, there you go. Very nice. Chiron, relax. That'll take a little bit to fill up there. Quite a ton of job. Guys, in 5700. Very nice. Very. It operates, as you know, a little bit differently in an actual tower desktop than it would in a laptop. Much more efficient. Well, I wouldn't say that. It's less efficient, more powerful, because it's in a bigger package where you got a little bit more breathing room. That's a very good setup. Chiron, stop. Chill out, Pooch. It's going to be paired with my 7700 XT 1440p gaming. Heck yeah! I got a 1440p monitor I'm playing this game off of myself. RTX 3060 12 gig for me, though. I'm gonna get a laptop of it. But in my opinion, most price jump. I mean, I see where you're coming from. Especially if you're a gamer. If you're a gamer, then it'll be very difficult to find a laptop that does what you want it to do. Paying 2K for a 4060. Yeah. Get it in a desktop for half that. I mean, the 4060, I don't know. That 4060 is freaking inflated price up the wazoo. Mm-hmm, yeah. 420, blaze it. Sorry, I couldn't resist it. Giant dork. Sure, you're very well aware, having been here as long as you have. $470.97. Very nice. Arguably even better than my desktop that I got right here. 13900, well, 32 gigs and a 3090 24 gig in it with a 4 terabyte M.2 SSD or NVMe SSD. Building's built. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. Say yours is arguably better. CPU could last longer, should last longer because core count 3090 and 4070 trade blows. Bit more VRAM, most 4070 block to the max out of the box. Yeah, still 4070 is nothing to sniff at, you know. Exciting piece of machinery. Dun, 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 dun. FS. Yeah, that's on. Bum 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 bum. Oh, 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 oh. Card is about 10% slower than 4070 on average. I have clocked to the max than undervolt. Reach is above 55 Celsius, eh? That's really good. Dang. Especially since it can, you know, go up to 100 before it really starts to have issues. That is the hotspot thermal shutdown. Yeah, that is a very nice. Did you say, is it water cooled? The one I got right here is water cooled GPU and CPU. Problem is, it's kind of a brick right now because it fault restarts for a reason that's beyond my understanding. I don't know why it does it, but it does it. Frustrating. Alright, now I can build that fire station. Nope. I should decrease my income by like 500 a month or so. Okay. When I get up to 50k, I will build another cell tower up here. They have cell data for radio mast. Spend all my money. I remember you telling me your flash cable or something. Yeah, I mean, I've tried everything. The closest thing I can think of that it is that the Xfinity Wi-Fi signal is interacting with something in the machine. So I have this EMF shroud on it now. We're going to see if that works. I just haven't gotten around to trying it because the laptop's doing the trick for now. So if it's doing the trick, then I'm going to let it be. Very nice card. They really take pride in their work, don't they? Gotta love it. Very nice. Very nice. When a company takes pride in their work, they're gonna do a better job at it. I don't know if you heard the exciting news, Kingpin from EVGA is now partnering with Enthusiast. I hadn't heard about that. Now, Enthusiast, what do you mean enthusiasts? Do you mean like cards that have 2 GPUs on them? Cards that have SLI, stuff like that? Things that they have done away with? Enthusiast could mean a lot of things. Chiron, stop it. They're sick nasty. GPUs, custom BIOS, gold-plated chips, copper, heatsink. Yeah. Oop. Yeah, that could be fun. Now, I ain't a Goo Gaga billionaire or anything, so I wouldn't be able to afford that for quite some time, but sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Piece with the 36. Nice. That's crazy because there's usually like at least for NVIDIA, they usually improve by like 30% every generation. Massive. I gotta give them props for that. They are consistently improving. Massively. Dun 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 dun. The 360 and 360. 20 to 35. Yeah, right? Insane. It makes you think. Why don't they just come out with that really good stuff to begin with? Are they holding something back? Of course they are. But they gotta make money. They love you. ATI has more RAM. Yeah. The ATI, isn't that a 11 gig card? The base 3060 is 8, if I'm not mistaken. You can get them in 12 gigs like the one I have in my laptop, but I will be right back. I gotta go pee. Too much wake-up juice. Alright. I have returned. Very cool honeycomb design. Dun dun dun. Okay. Cool. Boom town. All right. Let's see. thing I want to build is a recycling center. There's so many things I gotta build. Not just a recycling center. I gotta build a high school too. That's gonna have to wait. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Alrighty, let's start building a little bit better infrastructure here. I guess I'll just do a standard ramp and on. Upgraded as time goes on. know if you looked at it or not. I left. You did. Your GPU? I thought it was pretty nifty. They take pride in it. Very saucy. Yeah. Tis cool. Taking a character for another character. Ah. Yeah. My brother and I were on Diablo 4 a little bit for like 3 hours the other day. He's trying to get me through the campaign. I still haven't beaten it yet. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. Just unfortunate because my other brothers haven't really played it at all. I'll play with us. Yeah, for sure. I am down to play that game. Nice. What do you think? How you like it? What kind of druid is it? Oh, it's 3 hours. What are your thoughts for 3 hours back in a year? Sorry, I'm not exactly sure what you mean.
Fire and Rescue Service reports that fires are currently spreading in the nearby. Billowing clouds of smoke pose a serious health risk to anyone nearby. At this time, all citizens in the affected area are instructed to immediately move to a safe distance until the situation is under control.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of really good builds, so make a fire druid, you can make a werewolf fairy druid, a fire claws bear. A lot of really good ones, and they're all fun. Oh yeah, my thoughts on D4? Well, I mean, I really haven't gotten to the end game content, so I can't really determine how they've improved the itemization or anything. But I like the story so far, and I was never going to not be happy with the story, because I know that Blizzard always does a good job with that. But it was the gameplay that was the problem. I mean, so far I'm liking it. And the way I see it is if they just make it a Diablo 3 Resurrected, which is essentially what they're doing, that's fine. And it's not what we were hoping for necessarily, but it's not going to be bad. I mean, Diablo 3 was a fun game. Is a fun game. Diablo 3 Resurrected. Okay, fine. I guess so. If that's what they want to do, if that's what the the fan base wants, then so be it. Yeah. That's what most people say. You know, Greater Rift's level 120 or whatever. But I'm telling you, same thing's probably going to happen with D4. The damage numbers are already like that of D3. So, could be better or could be worse. Why complain? Nobody hears me. My dad used to say that all the time. So now I'm saying it. Alright, I want to build an incinerator plant, but I probably start to fill up. I probably should build a high school. Oh, wait until I get to 350,000, I guess, and I'll build the high school. Something else to grind for besides Ubers. Yeah, Worldstone Shards, like in Diablo 2, or Path of Diablo 2, I think it was. That's what they called it, the mod for Diablo 2. They had that kind of stuff, and it was a lot of fun. Sessions. Get rid of 30,000 items per character. 30,000 items per character? Project Diablo 2, yeah. I didn't know there was a 30,000 items per character limit. Huh. Well, I guess that's just way past any amount that I had. Feels like one character has way too many items. Makes for a boring and very dry loot pool. I feel you. I feel you. Well, amigo, that is all I have for today. It's been real, it's been fun. It's been real fun. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, you're back hanging out with me. Have a good day.